Ever since Baseplate has been added to TDX, it's proven itself to be probably the most impossible map, I guess. But there's one challenge that seems pretty impossible solo, if anything. And yeah, maybe if you read the title, you know it's solo expert on Baseplate. But hey, listen. There's more to it. Since expert wasn't obviously balanced around impossible maps, some enemies could just literally insta-kill you without anything to it.
I took damage instantly. Yeah, that's crazy.
But despite all that, this video exists. So I don't know what to say here. Enjoy the video. This loadout is very specific just to this challenge, and you'll see why. But the main points that you need to know is that Golden Mine Layer is my main boss killer. And on a map like Baseplate, Wave 30 Phobias just runs into your base, like no stop at all. Which is why you need to use top half Mine Layer just to spam the crossbow ability and one tap it instantly. Helicopter is 1000% necessary for Eradicator MK2's drone, since there's no other air detection in the game that even rivals the DPS helicopter has. Finally, EDJ and Cryo Blaster are just kinda there to be there. I mean, why wouldn't you want EDJ and Cryo Blaster on a map like this? Slammer is the only tower that could be swapped out for something else, but I take Slammer just because of the boss stun and general AoE, which is pretty nice. Now, all I gotta do in the early game is just spam golden mobsters to maximize on that cash regen, since it's way too OP for solo. Now, 6 golden mobsters is all I'm really gonna get for a while, since I need to get Cryo Blasters to freeze everything, then Helicopter to kill the flying enemies on wave 11 and 13. Now, I need to get a third helicopter for wave 15 since that's just all flying enemies and I'm currently lacking DPS, so. Immediately after though, I could just sell the helicopters for better defense since they aren't needed anymore. Which, you know, I do obviously, so I get a third Cryo Blaster and a Golden Mine Layer crossbow since it's pretty underrated AoE for the early game. Now that we're just waiting for these enemies to die, I want to go explain what we're going to do for the next like 4 waves or so. Jumpers are not an issue with this defense, since Golden Mine Layer crossbow basically solos all of them. Cryo Blaster is just Cryo Blaster, I mean, you know, just look at this. I'm trying to get an 03 Golden Mobster now, because that has flying stealth detection, which is what I need for wave 19. Now that we have a pretty solid defense, I think it's time to think about how we're killing wave 30 since Phobius just rushes into your base on baseplate. And I mean, come on, the obvious solution is obviously Golden Mine Layer. What else can it be? You probably can't kill Phobius without Golden Mine Layer on this map, which is why it's a mandatory tower to bring for this. So right now, in order to prepare for this, I'm just obviously constantly mob surmounting, and I do something pretty risky here where I skip into wave 28 from 27 to multiply all the enemies. And I kind of look stupid here because I die, right? But that's besides the point, because we cannot abandon hope. Now here's how it looks when you actually do it right. Now as you can see, all the clone monsters are frozen, they have a bounty, so it's basically just a free like 30k for me. In terms of actually defending wave 29, all I need to do is just get a few helicopters and a grand slam in order to stun the predators. Now, as wave 29 wraps up, I need to stall the last enemy so I can start building up G-mines without, a rewind. And also, one small thing to know is that a rewind gives 60 seconds while the actual mine lifespan from crossbows is 90 seconds. Which means if I actually do use a rewind on this wave, I'm not technically using all the G-mine crossbows I could be using. All this just means I can use less G-mines than most people use. And now, it's time to spam GML crossbows for like 2 minutes straight. Now listen, as I'm editing this video, right, there's literally nothing interesting about waves like 30 to 40 besides VX drone and destructor. So if you really want to see all that gameplay, then maybe I'll upload raw footage by the time I upload this video. I'm not sure. Anyways, just enjoy. Now, my approach to wave 42 is that I have no spammable DPS towers, you know, besides like Cryo Blaster, I guess, I don't know, bro. So instead of spamming Cryo Blaster for DPS, I'm just spamming it to freeze Destructor. And since wave 40 is like a 4-minute wave, I can use all that time to stall for bottom half golden mine layers to build up. And once they have all their mines placed down, it's basically easy for MK2. The only hard part of MK2's boss fight is praying that he doesn't summon his drones into my base, which is like basically gambling odds. I have no idea. But with that information, you should be able to understand what is gonna happen. Now that the Destructor is dead, it's time to stall for 4 minutes, basically. Don't worry, I won't drag it on for that long. I'm just gonna speed it up, yeah. You don't know how annoying this is, bro. It's like 50 minutes per match. I have to do multiple attempts just because MK2 was RNG. I don't know. What? Just... I really appreciate you for watching this far. I'm not a fake mofo, so I'll read any comments you guys leave, you know. I'm not that busy of a man. If I could do stuff like this. Solo challenges are never fun. I had to do this all alone. No, I'm not talking to anyone for a straight hour. I'm just locked in. It's so boring, bro. Like, I don't know. Oh my god!
Let's go, bro.
Oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Ah!